It's a minute 29 seconds in now. Minute 32. I don't know if anyone, when I repost this, is going to just watch the fire that long before they turn the channel. This fire on this camera, it looks more white, but it's an orange flame. It's not anywhere close to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, American. So like, it just looks more black and white. There ain't as much color in the camera as what my eye sees. One day I'll get me a camera. It's kind of low priority, but one day I'll get me a camera that picks up things better, like the one I used to have. And flying carpets, land. Where is that, Iraq? Where was Aladdin at? Because I remember reading, I think in the Arabian Nights, he was Chinese. He was from some Chinese Muslim place. But then in the Disney, he's like in, Turkey. In the Disney, I think they might have put him in Baghdad. But I know that's not where he really was from. Did I read that right? Turkey, I hear some people from Turkey. I don't know much about it. I don't want to speak about it too much. I don't know much about it. I know that the Muslim world is pretty much a third Persian, a third Turk, and a third Arab. And that's pretty cool. From Ephesus, that's the same place in the Bible, the book of Ephesians is wrote to. That same city, I'm thinking. Is it Turkey? That's pretty cool. Turns out Brittany doesn't get off work till 8. When I first started this fire here, that log I just moved was the only one on fire. So I couldn't move it yet. I want to kind of burn this way and burn these thorns up over on this side. That fire ant mound right there is the tallest point on this hill. And I've owned this property, I don't know how many years. I've lost track of it. Maybe 8, 9, 10, I don't know. And they've been here the whole time I've been here. And I burnt this area off one time. And they're still there. And their mound got even bigger. But they about to go. They're too close to the back door. Oh, you probably can't see it. They're the mightiest ant bed in the area, and they gonna be brought low. It's kind of sad, you know. They've been doing really good here, prospering and everything. Nothing lasts forever, ants. Them fire ants, they give them honeybees hell, I tell you. The fire ants will go swim across the water, make bridges over everything, suicide themselves in motor oil to make bridges of dead bodies to walk across. If they really want to get to somewhere, like some honeybee honey, like there's like 100 pounds of honey in that box and it's worth it for them. I had axle grease on the trap. They just stuck sand in the axle grease so they could climb across it. They get creative. Had water lilies. They swam across the pond and ate them. I don't like the fire. I respect the fire ant, but we're not friends. When I was a little boy climbing the cedar tree, one of them bit me, and I remember biting it back. I would never do that now, but when I was almost a baby, I wasn't even in kindergarten yet. They will just walk up to you and attack you for no reason. They're tenacious. They think they can fight everything. These animals have mixed feelings about me. Most of them like me. Most of them. I come to the land and rid of the fire, the rattlesnakes. So the rabbits like me for that. The fox likes me because there's more rabbits to eat because the rattlesnake's gone. The hawk likes it. They like it because they've ate a few chickens. The birds like they can eat them blueberries now. They like that I've spread I do a lot to feed the wildlife. I like being able to go outside and see a deer or a fox or a raccoon or a crane or a hawk or all that. And sometimes some of these wild animals, they tempt me. They kill a little too many chickens, and I start thinking, man. But I like to have enough food to feed them and me. I don't stop the birds from eating my blueberries. They'll eat bugs too that could hurt the whole plant. I just let them have their share. I can make more food than I can eat. I'm trying to get as many species of plants and animals in the 7 acres as possible. This is how I get sick, y'all. I don't really mean this, but they'll come over with a drone, and that's an airplane though. They'll come over and watch me with a drone. They're curious and they spray some COVID on me or something. The Jews would be like, "Die, Paul, die." Kidding, they don't really be doing all that much. But they did spread that vaccine to give people blood clots and kill people, though. They talk about the depopulation agenda openly, and then people still don't put it together. They really want us dead. But we're like some roaches or something. They keep spraying us with poison, and we keep adapting to it. They keep injecting us with all kind of poisons, putting poison in our food. Want to keep us weak, slowly kill us. And life is just so tenacious. We just adapt to it. Rothschild over there, Bill Gates, they're like, why ain't they dead yet? Why is their immune system so strong? I'm in Georgia. I'm located in Georgia. Not that Georgia, the island, and not that Georgia south of Russia. Georgia on the Atlantic coast of the United States of America, one of the original 13 colonies. The drinkers of sweet tea, eaters of peaches, pecans, deer. Hello, sir. Belly Gamer H2T. While the fire is burning, so many of the bugs, they get gone. A moth always they just get confused, the moths. They're used to using the light of the moon and the stars and the sun. They just keep that to their back. And when they're flying, they won't get turned upside down and crash or whatever. That's just a navigational tool of them. And then artificial lights and fire and all this stuff, that just throws them off. They think that they're going to fall out the sky, and they think they're upside down. They keep trying to flip their back to the light like they would do to stay upright in flight, and it just confuses them. So sometimes a moth will fly into a light like that. But the mosquitoes, all them bugs go away when I light this fire. One, it makes heat rise and it causes it to be more windy. That's one reason. But when the fire is dead and it goes out and there's that pile of ashes on the ground, salamanders will be in the dirt, keep them warm. You'll see salamanders, lizards, birds, moths, butterflies, bees, all kind of insects and animals gather around the ash pile, getting some kind of mineral or something they need, or dusting themselves from mites. I don't see no hogs anymore in this area. They can't get any. They used to probably come in and waller in the mud holes and eat the acorns, and now there ain't nothing for them. The deer and the squirrels have already got all the acorns before they can get anything. And also the neighbors across the Oxford Street, they hunt them a lot. I say good riddance. I don't really want them here. You know, that's something that's kind of dangerous. I don't want Brittany walking in the woods one day and get attacked by a pack of wild hogs. I ain't worried about coyotes. I'm pretty sure I could just one on a pack of coyotes beat all the coyotes. I ain't worried about no coyotes. It's the wild hogs. I don't want to fight a herd of wild hogs. A lot of people have these accidents with cattle I just would never have. I think you should always keep a sidearm with you. If you're out there with all them bulls and all, you need a gun on you able to bring them down just in case. And you probably never have to use it, but just in case, it ain't worth your life. Got to remember the strength of the ox. Also, like, well, it depends on what you're doing, but sometimes you don't want to be right there by the fire. You light the fire for wild animals or whatever, which I ain't gonna worry about that where I'm at right now, but you don't want to be people seeing the fire glow on you and they're in the darkness. Also, you don't want leaves around. Like, in certain situations, like let's say somebody's hunting you, you don't want to leave leaf litter everywhere for you to walk around and be heard while you move, but you want it where you'll hear them when they move. I guess y'all can't see shit, can y'all? I got better night vision than the camera, but I'm nearsighted for sure. I think that shape of my eye that makes me more nearsighted helps me see at night. I know in some times in history, every single nation has done a little too much. And you gotta admit, them Ottomans at some points, they were wilding out. We was too, though. It takes the more military generations to give people the homeland and the safety to prosper. But once their descendants prosper in peace and all, they start to demonize their ancestors for their violence. They're like, oh, they were so violent and bad. Meanwhile, they enjoy the fruits of their labors, you know. They're eating good and got all kind of trade with all kind of nations. They've got all kinds of goods and services, and they're just living it up. When their ancestors were starving, suffering, and battling in war to make the safety for their children. And then, I don't know, people just, they change their, I guess, moral priorities. I don't know the term. They change their focus. Things that used to be good become bad. Well, it just depends. Whatever. That when someone says good, they mean good for them. If it'll light all that damn tar coming out that smoke, it'll flame up real good. If I put the smallest piece of grass or something, it would. Have that air in there. I want to burn them weeds out on that side too, I think. And back away from the heat. Now, I don't know if y'all seen the other videos, but it's dug out dirt all around here. Ain't got to worry about it spreading. Any little patch of thorns or grass that could burn up, I want it to burn up. I'm gonna have to dig that hill out. It's nothing personal, fire ants. It's just, I don't want the water rolling off this hill and splitting this way and all that other. I'm planting wheat. I'm planting rye. I'm planting corn. I need the water to drain a certain way. You just built your house in the wrong spot. I know you was here first and all, but you know what? They're making me pay property taxes, and you ain't paid none. The bees give some honey. The chickens give eggs. You ain't give nothing but biting everything else. You ain't helping out of nobody except the aphids. You're farming the aphids. That's another reason I respect them fire ants. They're very versatile. They've enslaved other ants. They farmed for aphids. They farmed fungus. It's like everything all the other ants do, they learn how to do. Can't drown them. If you put a whole bunch of them in the water, they'll just make a ball and float. Or make a bridge. They can be in the trees, the ground. If you stayed still long enough, they'd eat you. They don't see a human and get scared. Every other animal runs away. The fire ant come right up to you and bite your ass, try to eat you. Start calling for reinforcements. You ain't even got to do nothing to them. They're just aggressive. I'm not going to eradicate them. I haven't put no poison on them. But sometimes I relocate them. Sometimes I will increase the sugar in the soil and the fungus in the soil to make them not be able to live there. Oh, thank you for that. I've tried to make my peace with most of these animals, but I've got an enemy list. The only one on the enemy list that I respect is the fire ant. I respect the fire ant. I don't respect none of the rest of them. I got ticks, fleas, mosquitoes, bed bugs, any kind of blood sucking insect, any kind of parasite. I just don't even see that the world needs them at this point. I think they've just chosen the path of evil. Every one of them done sold their soul out to the devil. Them ticks, blood drinking ticks, all of them. All the animals would be better off if they were gone. These birds don't need no ticks. The dogs, the deer, me. Now Bill Gates is over here making genetically modified ticks to bite people and make them allergic to meat. Y'all remember when the peasants was eating grain and the slaves was eating grain and all the nobles reserved the right to hunt and eat red meat, to eat wild game. That helps your brain grow. That helps you be healthy. All grain diet is a slave diet. And they're trying to take our meat away. Well, I'm going to have these guineas and chickens eating these ticks. That's why I don't kill the possums, even though they're after my chickens. Possums eat a lot of ticks. Also, you know, when I look at a possum, a lot of people see an ugly rat when they look at a possum. But when I look in a possum's eyes, I could just tell that they're like monkey level intelligent. They're very smart. I have killed a few of them because sometimes it's just they're in the chicken pen, they're going to kill every chicken. Can't get in the chicken pen whatsoever. And they just don't try. It ain't worth their time. They can't dig into it. They're just going to hit wire under the ground. They just can't get into it at all. And they come out at nighttime. So I haven't had to kill no possums with this setup I got now. But in the past, I've done it. Because you know how they supposed to play dead? Sometimes they growl at you and show all them teeth, and they ain't really dangerous. But in the moment, when I was young and didn't know no better, and didn't know they was eating ticks, and didn't know they couldn't have rabies and all, I thought possums played dead. This motherfucker growling at me and shit. I hit him with a 2x4 and killed him. Plus, he was eating all our bread in the workroom at Cherokee County, and everybody got mad at me for doing it. But it's like, honest, I was a little scared when at the time. I was younger then, but still, I guess I didn't have to kill the possum, but I don't know. I think a lot of people that give me hell for it would have done the same thing in the same situation. They might would have. I got buckets of water back there just in case them embers fly far enough and land and catch any of that on fire. Also, I've got bricks behind there, so if they do catch, they're not going to burn all the way back. They'd burn to the bricks. It'd give me plenty of time. I got a bunch of loose dirt there. I got a shovel to where I could put out fire with dirt. A lot of times, I'll get a fire going like this, and I'll stack hardwood in a pyramid shape all around it, or like a cone all the way around it. And then I'll start covering it up with dirt, and it'll make a bunch of charcoal. You've got low oxygen, so instead of burning your wood all the way up, you just cook it, down to its carbon. Charcoal's very important. It can save your life. If somebody poisons you, charcoal will bind with almost every poison. You could eat crushed charcoal and save your life. You could filter water with charcoal. You could use charcoal to keep the smell down in your animal enclosures and stuff like that. You can use charcoal to absorb water in the soil. I'm pretty sure a lot of deserts would bloom if you just put charcoal in the sand. A place to hold water, or a safe place for microorganisms and beneficial fungus and bacteria. you need nitrogen too. You know, it ain't all about the carbon, but a lot of people forget all about the carbon because they're selling you chemical fertilizer. So they tell you about the nitrogen and the phosphorus and the potassium. I said it out of order though, you know, or did NPK, but carbon is important too. CO2 is very important. You can enrich the atmosphere with CO2 and get plants to grow twice as fast. If you have like a grow tent or something like that, we used to take dry ice because it's releasing CO2 and put it in containers with little holes to let it seep out into the room. And we would get plants to grow twice as fast with CO2 enrichment. That's why they want to cut CO2 emissions. They don't want you to have a good crop harvest. If you increase the CO2, plant life will flourish on this planet and food will be abundant. And people won't run out of oxygen. The plants that will grow from that CO2, they will, when they're making sugar and they're photosynthesizing and all, they're going to take that CO2 and they're going to take the carbon off of it and they're going to release oxygen to breathe. They're going to take the CO2 and make sugar with it that we can eat. And they're going to release oxygen that we can breathe. And plant life is just going to, it'd be good. I mean, it's just all upside if you increase the CO2. But they're going to get to where they're going to say, you can't have that campfire, Paul. That's CO2 emissions. When we exhale that CO2, they want to tax the air we breathe. Really, they want to reduce the population and keep the technology that they have now so that in the next age they can enslave everyone and have peasants again. Imagine a whole bunch of people that don't know anything, weren't taught anything. You know, one day you can't pick up your kids from school and you don't know anything, you weren't taught anything about this world, the technology we have. Then you've got these wizards and kings and priests in the background. They've got robots. They've got AI. They've got underground bunkers with grow lights, with geothermal power. They've got all this technology that no one knows about. There's been this massive die-off. They've got everybody take these vaccines to kill people. They put all these nanobots and all this stuff in the atmosphere to kill everybody off. And they just start off again with a new Adam and Eve. They just start off ruling in the background. They've got all this technology. It just makes them seem like gods, like magicians, like they know magic. And they keep it a secret. And they do a great reset. And then they let the population grow again. They let them build infrastructure. They let them extract resources and all. And then at a certain point, they harvest them. There's a different breed, almost like a vampire, that farms humans like humans farm animals. And they trying to do that shit again. They ain't always successful. No one knows the future. Before it's warmed back up, we had a frost in this late fall, but it's warmed up enough that I need to do some hive inspections on them bees before I go into winter. Make sure they're mite free before winter. Now, too much tea tree oil will drive them off, but if you have the smallest amount of it mixed with some sugar water and you feed it to them, they'll be mite free. It'll kill all the mites. Make sure they know hive beetles are going to get in there and eat up all their honey and make them starving. You know, I just got to do a hive inspection before winter time. I'm not taking nothing from them this first year. I'm going to let them have. Now, sometimes you have to. Most of the time, I mean, you want them to have enough honey to make it, but there is such thing as too much honey. We've bred them to make so much honey that they can make too much honey for their own good, where they're not going to need that much honey, and that extra honey is just going to attract every kind of pest to come take it from them. It's just going to smell too strong. It's just going to let the bear know. Which the bear's really after the grubs. But I'm just saying, you know, a metaphorical bear. Really, it'd probably be cats and skunks and everything else. All these flowers here, I let stay for the bees, but now they've died and went to seed and they grow. They're kind of plant that always, its seeds can handle being burnt by fires. It'll be back. A landscape can change a lot by fires. Because, you know, some of these plants, after a fire, they're gone. It'll be a while before they're there. Others, some of the seeds burn up, some seeds don't burn up. Some seeds need a fire to germinate. Oh, I'm trying to shake the phone to get the flashlight to come on. The flashlight ain't gonna come on while the camera's on. I'm here anyway. There's a oak tree, a branch of an oak tree that broke when Hurricane Helene happened. And the branch isn't all the way off the tree. It's most of the way cracked off the tree, and it's dried up and dead wood. It needs to be cut off the tree for the health of the tree. But I'm breaking some of this off and take it out there to the fire. Probably won't add no more than this. Because Brittany's going to get off work at 8. She's not going to want her clothes to smell like smoke. And we'll go home. It's already dark out here, so I can't really do much work or anything out here. I'm just going to keep the fire going to keep warm. Plus, I just like to watch it. Plus, I need to burn them thorns out. It make me feel like I'm doing something. I wish I'd have got out here earlier and got more mulch brought out here. I need to find my rake for real. Or I might just wind up buying me another one if I can't find that one in time. Oh, that's Brittany calling.